again, player of the season. You voted for it, sir. Who is your player of the season?
It's got to be Bruno for me. I think if Ahmad had stayed fit, he'd be my pick. But at the end of the day, 16 goals, 11 assists in 51 matches. He was directly involved in 38% of our competitive 71 goals that we scored, and he overperformed XG by 6 goals, nearly 6 goals. So hat trick against Real Sociedad, game-winning penalties against City, Rangers. But I wanted him to score in that final. He did not have a good game in that final. But at the end of the day, he had a great, he had a productive season. It's just that United was terrible. So I can only imagine where we would have been if we did not have Bruno Fernandes, or he got injured. Say he blew his knee out at the beginning of the season. Did we get relegated? Probably not, but it would be closer.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's Bruno Fernandes. I would say the only caveat being, like you said, I would prefer to pick Ahmad, but the injury, I think for the time he was playing, he was absolutely amazing. And Bruno had someone to pass to, but it has to be Bruno Fernandes. Got us to that final. Pretty much the reason we didn't get relegated. And then, gave away that 5-yard pass to Casemiro that led to Spurs goals in the final. So, he gives and takes away, and, it's tough to see your best player in those big moments for a team like Manchester United, living off scraps here. Most improved player of the season. Everyone voted here for Ahmad, sir. Who do you got most improved?
Yeah, I think you're going to see consistency in the fans and the two Muppets today, which is Ahmad is the most improved, I think, by a country mile. I think he would have been player of the year if he didn't get injured and even eclipsed Bruno, because the level that he was playing at, that City goal, the 12-minute hat trick. And I would have loved to see him fit and firing, with a proper season underneath him before that final. But it has to be Ahmad. I mean, he was showing so many good glimpses under Ten Hag, wasn't getting the minutes. And at least, Ruben Amorim's shown that, as he does rate the youngster, because he's a hell of a youngster. He's been at United for quite a bit of time, and I'm glad he's finally finding his feet. He's also a humble lad, good kid. I hope Ahmad Diallo hits all the heights at Manchester United, because he's such a technically proficient player. He's unbelievably talented.
He's in between those two positions, and that's a problem, and so
especially the three at the back.
I do not blame Ahmad if he doesn't want to track back and play defense. I do not blame that. He should be playing in 4-3-3 and play on the right wing.
Doesn't look like a fullback, bro.
No,
he's too
not.
small.
And so then it gets into this debate
stubborn
over
Ruben
So
Amorim.
look, Ahmad has to be most improved. I'm going to give an honorable mention to Harry Maguire. I felt like he kind of stepped up big on the goal scoring side as well as defensively. I think De Ligt was the preference, playing in the center of the three, and then Harry kind of got in there because of De Ligt's injuries, and he actually played very well. He excels there for England, and just nice to see Harry Maguire enjoying his football. He never gives up on this team, never gives up late in games. We saw a bunch of late winners in Europa League as well. So I'm going to give an honorable mention to Harry Maguire. And then we're going to vote for biggest disappointment this season. Fans had Højlund by a country mile, with Onana and Rashford coming in close behind. I think he got a few of these. This season's been rough as far as biggest disappointment. Who do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the pitch, it's obviously Højlund to have that step down that he had while also leading the line. I just ended up feeling bad for him by the end of it. He looked completely lost. I think now, it's funny, doing the recap, I think arguably the biggest disappointment of that 2024-2025 season is Ruben Amorim. He came in, won 38% of his games, bottled the final. He hasn't shown me a lot of things to be excited about. I will back any United manager to the hilt. I love this fucking club, but at the end of the day, it's like my eyes are telling me that you have real concerns that you have a manager that has a good philosophy, but if you're too fucking rigid, you're going to bury yourself. So Højlund on the pitch for sure. Onana as well, you give a shout. I think Diallo, you could give a shout. He was really good last season, but he had a lot of errors. When I did the match-by-match breakdown, he had a lot of big errors giving the ball away. But there's too many names to even pull out, sir. Højlund is the obvious one.
Rashford has to be up there.
That's a good point.
Just that didn't even give Amorim a chance.
He showed up.
He's not even, first, Rashford shouldn't even be on this list, but for me, Rashford literally was in New York at a Knicks game when Amorim was high. You got a new boss, you got a new you should be there. He's just on a out to lunch. So Rashford's for me, it's Onana. Another great Erik Ten Hag signing alongside Højlund. Anthony could be on here. You have a Hall of Fame of just bluffers that this guy overpaid for.
This guy, get the season over.
We went to the Arsenal game, and Onana's kicking the ball out of bounds.
Oh, that was
so
insane.
Not only can he not, like, literally, he was brought in to do one thing. We, like, took De Gea back to the woodshed, put him out of his misery, reneged on the contract, not saying he'd be much better. But Onana was brought in to play the ball at the back because De Gea could not do that. And then he's the one kicking the ball out of bounds against Arsenal. He is, like, we cannot. Like, Højlund, and this is where I'll get to Onana's most disappointing for me. Højlund can play as backup or third-string striker. Onana cannot play for Manchester United again. That's kind of where I draw the line. And I will take Højlund at United again, but he can't be the only guy.
Correct.
I will not take Onana after this past season at Manchester United.
Yeah, no, all day. Because Højlund, I think we put him at a disservice to him by starting him game and his confidence just got worse and worse and worse.
He got worse, though.
He did get worse. No,
and he has people telling him what to do, and he's not doing it.
Okay.
I do want to say
let me make this point. He did get worse, but at the end of the day, you're right. He's also 22, and Onana's 29. And like you said, we signed him to do one thing, and if he's failing terribly at that one thing, that gives you real concern. So I agree. Onana's got to go. I have no problem running back Højlund as number 2 or 3 once again. Let's talk about next poll, sir.